beat them was St Helens. The Cup winners go in search of their 10th home win in Super League 4. Glorious evening here in West Yorkshire, and the St Helens fans still making their feelings known about one Ellery Hanley. And they've come over here across the Pennines and risked the M62 in some numbers to cheer this team on. And by the looks of things, it's bonding time below stairs here at Headingley. And Ellery Hanley right there in the middle of the St Helens players. And it's the home dressing room we're looking at now. Once upon a time, Ellery Hanley was the captain of the Leeds team. And now that mantle, of course, has fallen to Iestyn Harris. But it's a much more relaxed atmosphere by the looks of things inside there. This is the team that Leeds hope will do the trick. Harris, the captain at fullback. Sterling, Golden, Godden and Cummins. So still no Richie Blackmore. Powell and Sheridan at halfback. And the forwards, Darren Fleary still out, so Martin Masella continues alongside Newton and McDermott in the front row. Morley and Farrell in the second row. Glanville is the loose forward. And on the bench, Marcus St Hilaire, Andy Hay, Jamie Matthew and Leroy Rivette. A formidable bench indeed for coach Graham Murray. Now the Saints, Aitchison at fullback. Smith, Iro returns, another former Leeds hero. Newlove and Sullivan. Tommy Martin and Sean Long at halfback. Up front, Perolini, Cunningham, Davidson, Joint the skipper and Nicol, Sculthorpe loose forward. And on the bench for them, Tuilangi and Matauti are the experienced heads, Wellens and Price the youngsters, and the coach Ellery Hanley. Stars will glitter across this field tonight. And the St Helens team, their pre-match preparation is complete. They are ready for the mission. But it must be said, as Ellery Hanley leaves the dressing room, while the Rhinos have won 12 and drawn 1 of the 13 since they last met, St Helens have fallen from top of the table to third on the ladder. They've lost 5 of the 13 matches since their 62 points to 18 win on May the 4th. That will be, I'm sure, part and parcel of the Leeds build-up to this match. 16 games won, though, by the Saints. 5 they have been on the wrong end of. No draws. They're third in the table. They are the entertainers. 131 tries scored. Defence for both sides is a little bit of a problem. Anthony Sullivan just 1 behind Toa Koilove at the top of the try-scoring charts. And Kieran Cunningham, their hooker, is their top tackler of 1999. Chris Joint leads his men out. It's a big test of the Saints, their character, their commitment, and of course of their coach Ellery Hanley. Can he weave the magic again? And there is Ellery Hanley, and just 2 rows behind him, his director of football, Eric Hughes. Poles apart, it seems, socially, but with one thing in mind, and that is to make this St Helens team great and take them to the very top of the Super League. This is the team they have to overcome tonight. The Leeds Rhinos, second in the table, and they too have scored over the 100 mark, and defence for them is also a problem. Top scorer is Francis Cummins, 16 tries, and Anthony Farrell is the top tackler for them. It will be a wonderful welcome from a full house at Headingley as Iestyn Harris leads out the Leeds Rhinos. The expectation on the terraces at Headingley these days, Steve-O, well, you can almost taste it.
Sure can, and what a wonderful ploy by the Leeds club to bring out the Challenge Cup trophy. And the Leeds players ran past it. They would have had a little glimpse. 1 trophy in the cabinet already. The eyes on the JJB Super League trophy. Old Trafford, that is what this game is about tonight. The vital 2 points are up for grabs. But like I said, Eddie, in the studio, I think we are going to be set for one of the best games of the year so far.
Well, all the Leeds crowd hope so as well. Only a victory will do, and Graham Murray, the Leeds coach, assisting Neil Tunnicliffe of the Rugby Football League with medals that have been struck to commemorate the Challenge Cup success, which will go to squad members Marvin Golden, Paul Sterling, Kevin Sinfield and Martin Masella, who played in at least one round prior to the victory at Wembley. Russell Smith is tonight's match referee, a big referee for a big match, and they don't come much bigger than this as Iestyn Harris gets us underway. Underneath it, Tommy Martin pops it inside to Perellini. There's the first tackle of the match. The ball pops out but went backwards, and Aitchison picks up the pieces for Saints. First big hit of a big match. Here's Sculthorpe. Leeds piling in for the tackles early, as you would expect. Joint, the St Helens captain. Ellery Hanley, the St Helens coach, watching anxiously on. Half a minute gone, he's seeing Davidson drive the ball up to the halfway line. That's the head-to-head over the years. Nothing really to choose between them. Leeds usually dominates here. They hold a 17-win from 6 record. At Millsey Road, St Helens' patch, it's 19 from 27. But 17 wins to Leeds here at Headingley.
Well, that really should have been a penalty there, Chris Smith. And you can see that both sides are trying to get the ball carrier. They're trying to spin him over onto his back to allow the defence plenty of time to get themselves sorted out. But it's a big toss to have won here. You can see the lengthening shadows. It's extremely bad for the Leeds side.
Touch judge is on, yes, and the referee blew the whistle. And the referee's gone to his pocket. There's a red card. A red card. Morley is off. Morley sent off. Sensation here at Headingley.
Well, Davidson went for him first, and as he played the ball, well, he responded to a rabbit shot from Davidson. He played the ball and went looking for him. Well, this is sensational stuff.
The opening 2 minutes, and Graham Murray cannot believe it.
Really, but as he's going down, just tapped him on the head. Yeah, we're going to penalise him for that.
Touch judge and referee discussing. But Morley sensationally sent off.
And the thing is that Leeds will get the penalty. This is the chop. There it is. It was a punch and a chop at the back. And after he played the ball, crap, knocked him down. It was a beauty. It was a left hook and he went down. But what a price that the Rhinos have paid.
Tapping him on the back of the head. It was something nothing. I want none of it, okay? Stay out of it.
Well, that surprises me. Referee Russell Smith saying a punch is something and nothing. And yet, if you retaliate with a punch, he gets sent off. That is not a level field of play.
Well, an incredible start to what was always going to be a highly charged match. And here is Newton. And Newton was swiped up by Iro. He gets to his feet, tries to play the ball. He's impeded. It's a penalty to Leeds underneath the sticks. And Russell Smith now is under the most intense pressure and scrutiny from this crowd.
Well, the pressure was always going to be applied without the fact that he has sent Adrian Morley off from the field of play, and maybe Russell Smith is very pleased. There's a disconsolate figure of Morley in the dressing room. He cannot come out onto the sidelines. He has to stay well away from the field of play.
Referee Russell Smith giving Leeds the penalty under the sticks. It was then disputed by the St Helens players, and Leeds were marched 10 metres further towards those sticks. Doesn't really matter, I suppose, when the penalty is 19 metres away. But what a start to this match. Adrian Morley sent off in the opening exchanges. Leeds down to 12 then for just about the entire match. Harris with the kick, and Leeds have the lead. Well, if ever you wanted to poke a stick at a hornet's nest, hand it to Russell Smith.
Well, in no hesitation. It was a real good impact. He was the left hook. And there's Russell Smith trying to calm things down, talking to the Saints skipper, Chris Joynt. And I was just about to say that perhaps giving that penalty will give both sides time to settle down. But that's a punch. Okay, it's not as good as this one coming up. Crack. But he shouldn't be sent off, surely.
Well, the referee saw it his way, and maybe everybody in this crowd will see it their way. But you're right, he said to Paul Davidson, it was something and nothing, the punch. Well, if that is the case, what on earth is Morley doing off the field?
Precisely, you can't just say, okay, well, your punch was better than his, so I'm going to send you off. We see elbows, we see knees getting into the throats with the elbow, and yet they don't get the red card. That has really surprised me, and I'm just hoping that Russell Smith, the pressure has not got to him.
Another penalty here. There was messing around, hand in at the play of the ball. There it was on Anthony Farrell. Referee wants a clean game around the ruck. 3 penalties already in the opening 5 minutes to Leeds Rhinos. Here is McDermott. Charging run from McDermott. Iron Long to bring him down. Long standing all over him. Newton dummy half onto Sheridan. Here is Masella. Masella trying to go round Perolini.
A lot will depend now how Leeds share the work. Down to 12 men, that means that they are going to really put themselves around for the full 80 minutes. They've got to make sure that nobody's shirking out there.
Well, they will point to Headingley to a famous victory with 12 men when Barry McDermott was sent off in the Challenge Cup tie against Wigan here. They won that day. Can they beat the Saints here in the Super League? Davidson again in very heavy on Powell. This is Harris. Great work by Iro, and Harris on the last tackle released the ball, and Paul Davidson has got it back.
Went for the power play there, when perhaps they would have been better suited to get the high kick in. While nerves are out there, there's a lot of tension, that's why that's a bad pass.
Ian Proctor, our statisticians, just reminded me, Steve-O, that Leeds had 3 men sent off last year, and they won on every occasion that they were reduced to 12. So is that a lucky omen in the most strangest and ridiculous way for the Leeds Rhinos?
Well, so often in the past it does lift aside. Oh, that's bad kick there from Tommy Martin, applied the pressure.
Sliced off the outside of the left boot and out on the full. He went for a 40-20 and only just got it to halfway. And on the full, Leeds will get it back on the turnover. Hanley talking to his assistant John Myler, who is sat next to him. 7 minutes gone, Leeds ahead 2-0, but in case you're just late tuning in, Adrian Morley sent off in the opening 2 minutes here at Headingley. Leeds down to 12 men.
And during those 7 minutes we've not seen much fast-flowing football. It's been rough and tough.
And here is Sheridan, who hands it on to Masella. Masella is picked up and dumped, but St Helens are intent on getting the Leeds players on their back after the tackle. This now is Farrell. And Farrell flicks it away under pressure, finds Golden. Gets away from Long, who has the first snap at him. Aitchison, Long and Newlove then the reinforcements.
Leeds are playing a very flat attacking game. There you see it again.
This is Sheridan. Disappears into the challenge.
Kick now.
Last one, Darryl Powell gives it width to Godden, and Godden cuts in field, goes away from 3, gives it then to Newton, back it goes to McDermott, he slides the kick in, Cummins, Smith knocked on, that will be a knock on against Saints winger, and it will be head and feet at the resultant scrum to Leeds.
Well, normally prop forwards do not put boot to ball, but it turned out to be a cracker from the prop forward Barry McDermott. Chris Smith come up with a pressure mistake. Then on the rack of the Saints.
As that scrum went down, a cavalry charge of water carriers came onto the field to pass instructions and get water on board to the players. Harris trying to go round Martin. Martin gets him second time. Harris picks up 10 metres from the line. This now is Powell. And Powell, back it goes to Newton. Newton then, it goes to Harris. Harris looking to extend the play out wide, but gives it to Sheridan. Not the best pass. Farrell picks it up, but also takes the tackle from Tommy Martin.
Good defence though by Saints.
Here's Newton. Back it goes. Picked up by Sheridan. And Sheridan then gives it to Masella. Masella spins away from one, spins away from Davidson. Davidson comes back again. Newton once more. Here is Powell. It's great pressure on this St Helens line. and offside against St Helens. Not 10 metres at the play of the ball. Penalty to Leeds under the posts. 2 more on the way.
Surely an easy kick now for the lead skipper, Justin Harris. And the pressure is definitely getting to both sides. Hectic pace. Every time that Paul Davidson is involved in either a tackle or he gets anywhere near the football, this partisan Leeds crowd, they really are getting on his back. And that only just adds that little bit of extra fuel. He's going to be a marked man to help this game.
Justin Harris then to try and give Leeds a 4-0 advantage from his second penalty. When the two sides met here in the Challenge Cup in February, we had 29 penalties shared between the two sides. It was strewn with the referee's whistle. Justin Harris has increased the lead. The Rhinos ahead by 4 points to 0. Saints really haven't got out of the trap.
Been pretty difficult, but you have to admire the way that the Saints defence really scrambled about. There were times there where Leeds were losing their momentum. Even though they were offloading in the tackle, they were making no ground forward.
Well, the crowd here still buzzing about that sending off by Stewart, I beg your pardon, Russell Smith of Adrian Morley in the opening 2 minutes. Let's hear from his boss. Greg McCallum is on sideline here. He's with Bill.
Yeah, Greg McCallum arrived back in this country this week after a spell back home in Australia. This is his first game back, and immediately he had an incident like that. What did you make of the sending off, Greg?
Well, I suppose in these matches where emotion is right at the boiling point, the referee's going to make some decisions based on what he's seen. He made the decision based on what he saw, but obviously the executive committee will be looking at the incident as a whole, and there may be some more news coming out of it.
Eddie just mentioned 29 penalties when these two sides met in the Challenge Cup here. Do you think it's heading that way again?
No, I think both sides will settle down well. Leeds have probably taken their opportunity to put some pressure on early on. I think the game will settle down okay.
Well, let's hope so, and that was a lovely pass from Harris to Sterling. The kick over the top from Sheridan. He was hit after the ball went, but no penalty forthcoming from Russell Smith.
The man had committed himself, Newlove, into the tackle just as he was making contact.
And it hit Newlove, and Newlove went for the charge down, so this will be head and feet at the scrum to Leeds. Well, have St Helens been out of their own half yet?
Nope.
There's the possession in the opposition half. 66% of it Leeds have had in the St Helens half. And here's some more. Powell.
The only time Eddie was on that kick and chase.
Harris, not the best pass, but well picked up again by Cummins. These passes are going to ground for Leeds, but the players are quick to turn mistakes into reasonable efforts. Glanville is at dummy half. It's now with Sheridan. Here's Farrell. Farrell will drive it in, trying to go round Cunningham. Davidson in. So too Perolini. Leeds again, camped under St Helens posts. Newton gets it away to Masella. Masella charged through the gap between Joint and Perolini. It was quickly closed.
Well, the referee has to do something about this. They've been trying to get the ball carrier onto his back all the time. It's going to be a warning now.
I don't think you can argue with that, Chris. I've had 4 or 5 second incidents. I told you about 2 minutes ago to get up quicker. The next one's going in the bin, Chris. Okay? Then on a warning.
So holding down, and the next one's in the bin. And remarkably, Chris Joint, Ellery Hanley's captain, has just said, same for them. Leeds haven't made a tackle yet.
I can assure you that they have, and they have also been doing the same, both shrewd coaches, Hanley and Murray, of course.
But Leeds, if St Helens continue to give away penalties, bang in front of the sticks. Well, with this fella, he'll just chip away all night.
Well, he had 13, broke the record, equalled the record for Lewis Jones last week. If he gets this one, he's well on his way.
Third kick from Justin Harris. Eminently kickable. Six points for Leeds, 0 for Saints.
St Helens will be walking the tightrope now. They have had the official warning from the official, Russell Smith. Rhino's happy, and why not?
Well, the Rhino might be happy, but I can tell you something, the neutrals in this ground won't be. This match is yet to start. We've had a sensational opening with Adrian Morley being red-carded, and obviously more to come.
And a kicking exhibition from one Justin Harris.
And 5 penalties to 0 to Leeds. You can see what St Helens' tactics are. It's to slow this Leeds steamroller down. Glanville.
Taking a big gamble there.
Here's Masella. Perolini and Cunningham. They're getting off them quicker now, but I'll tell you something else. There are about 7 St Helens players all stood offside then. Here now is Harris. Well, he's on his own, and Iro will wrestle him to the ground, right on the halfway line. This is the last tackle. Glanville on to Sheridan, on to Powell. Good harrying, good chasing by Long. Powell's away from him, and he's gone back behind the 40 looking for a 40-20. But Sullivan is there to pick up the bouncing ball. Now then, can Saints do something with it in their hands? Good tackle by Masella.
Good kick and chase there. He did well, did the stand-off Darryl Powell. Put under a lot of pressure, but finally got away. Good work though by Chris Smith.
Yes, he bounced in and out of a couple of tackles there. Now Leeds are penalised.
He milked that, and he milked it well. And when you have just handed out an official warning, there's Smith. Definitely had the hands on him. Farrell still had an arm across the chest, and he had no alternative there but to give the penalty.
So that's why St Helens now have made a rare sortie into the Leeds half of the field, and they're in possession with Perolini. He plays it to Cunningham, on it goes to Long. This now is Sculthorpe, and Sculthorpe steps inside Glanville. Ooh, he nearly slipped the pass looking for Iro, thought better of it. Iro is at dummy half, gets away from Godden, and Iro with a charge. Oh, and he had support out wide, but the ball went into touch. Now, did it come off a Leeds hand? Did it come off a St Helens player, i.e. Iro?
I think it
touched
came
by Leeds.
I think it came off a Leeds player. Yep, McDermott definitely had a lunge at that. This should be head and feet to Saints.
And it is.
Barry McDermott definitely lunges for it. Clunk.
Good job he did as well, because Chris Smith would have been over, I think.
Stay in the back, man.
So, big opportunity here for Sculthorpe. He's driving it towards the post. Great tackle by Farrell and by Powell. Long, on it goes to Joint. Joint out wide to Martin. Oh, Newlove hit that. Flicked it out wide to Sullivan. Sullivan will score. Sullivan will get it. Did he get it down?
Yes, he did. He'll go to the screen, I'm sure.
Anthony Sullivan claims he has scored. Ellery Hanley looks anxiously towards the screen. Now then, check the grounding is the word from Russell Smith.
No problem whatsoever. Downward pressure in full control throughout. This will be TRY.
As that ball hit the green grass.
Doesn't have to. Force it down like that.
Tries given. St Helens hit back. Anthony Sullivan with the try. And Sullivan registers his 19th. He joins Toa Koe-Love at the top of the try-scoring charts in Super League 4.
Good play. The Leeds defence, they shot out. They went for the intercept. Paul Sterling was left with nothing to do but come back and try to stop Sullivan in the end. Watch for Sterling come out. There he is. He went for Newlove, took the gamble. It didn't pay off. Good work though by Sullivan. Still had to step back on the inside.
Sullivan with the try then, and Sean Long now with the conversion attempt. This is Long's 72nd consecutive appearance. He's not missed a match since June 1997 when he joined from Widnes. Long with the conversion. It goes in front of the posts. Leeds still have the advantage, but first try to St Helens.
There's Sterling circle, Sullivan out wide, and as soon as he gets the pass away, there was always going to be the opportunity. Nice step off the left foot. That's what he's there for, Anthony Sullivan, to score the tries. Pressure for Graham Murray. He'll be happy.
Plenty for Ellery Hanley to talk about. 6 games in a row now that Anthony Sullivan has crossed the whitewash, by the way.
Well, full credit to the Saints. That was their first real chance to set up an attacking move inside the Leeds quarter.
Good play by Perolini. He flicked it to Martin. He in turn gave it to Long. Long is tackled by Godden and Cummins. Here now is Sonny Nicol. And it's been all Leeds, but Saints have got the first try of the match. Davidson, and he will be roundly booed every time he gets hold of the football here after what happened in the opening 2 minutes.
Big hit by Terry Newton. The hooker really got the shoulder in. And he's somewhat dazed, is Davidson.
Good run from Joint. Here now is Cunningham. He'll scamper away from dummy half. Great run from Kieran Cunningham. Sheridan got to him with a bit of help from Powell. Well, it's such a warm night. And Leeds with the 12 men will have to do a lot of work here. That's a great kick and a great take by Cummins, but the foot just touched the whitewash.
Yep. Davidson has had to go off. He really did get hurt in the tackle from Terry Newton. A bad mistake by that man, Francis Cummins. But it was a good kick in the end. So Davidson has left the field. That's the big hit from the hooker, Newton. And I think he may have got his ribs. Once the old rib cartilage just tweaks, it is extremely painful.
And Martin Masella is off to the blood bin as well. Davidson has gone to the sideline. He's taking a breather. And on in his place has come Vila Matautia. Not a bad replacement.
Shows you the strength from both sides, doesn't it, Eddie, when Leeds, Saint-Hilaire, Hay, Matthew and Rivette. Saints with Tuilangi, Matautia, Price and Wellens.
Off goes Masella with a bloody nose. It's been that sort of a match, hasn't it? And on in his place will come Jamie Matthew. And that's a blood bin change, obviously. Here comes Jamie Matthew. Remarkable statistic about this fella. It's his 75th appearance tonight, 56th as a substitute. On he comes to take his place in the front row as the scrum forms. Long feeds and almost stole the dummy over the head of the referee. Good run from Long. Hangs on to possession. Tackled 10 metres from the line. Joint to Iro. And Iro with the strength and dumps it out wide again to Sullivan. Sullivan keeps the movement going back to Newlove. And Newlove tried to straighten it up, and the Leeds defence is there in numbers, but that's a good run from Newlove for all of that. Cunningham, Martin, quick hands, Long, good ball, Matautia on one of those charges of his. Good tackle though by Glanville. Here goes Cunningham again. They could have been done for offside then, Leeds. Newlove, wrapped up is he by Golden? No, gets the pass away to Nicol. Nicol steps and stands, and he is all wrapped up as well. Bang underneath the Leeds post though. Cunningham, they go left with Joint, further left to Iro. Tried to go round Golden, Golden got to him, stopped him on one. Now then, penalty to Leeds because Iro believes he wasn't tackled and has some sympathy with him.
Well, the referee had called held. That's the reason why he had to give the penalty as soon as Iro offloaded.
He was tackled and immediately got up again. Whether he was held as he hit the deck, I'm not so sure, but the referee was. So it's a penalty to Leeds, yet another.
I must say, Kevin Iro back from injury. He's creating a lot of problems for the Leeds centres, Golden and Godden. They're scragging him, they're only half getting to him and pulling him down. And we saw there why the first try from Sullivan, it was because Sterling went and came in out of that front line. They're taking huge gambles, the Leeds. Remember, they are down to 12 other Rhinos.
Well, Matauski's on his way to the sin bin. Off he goes, 10 minutes, he's only just on as a sub for Saints. He didn't hear the early warning, and he's sent to the sin bin for this.
Scrambling all over. Jamie Matthew. Well, that levels things up for 10 minutes at least.
But he was as good as his word then, Russell Smith. Sheridan to Powell. Looks wide and finds Andy Hay just on. And Andy Hay plays it almost to Glanville. Glanville then to Brad Godden. And Iro gets a very good tackle in on the Australian. Glanville again, dummy half. Hay, on it goes to Powell. And Powell tries to go round Nicol, but that's difficult.
Leeds yet again playing very flat. They could do themselves a big favour if they stood back a little bit more.
Nice step by Harris twice. Good ankle tap from Tommy Martin. And he gets the ball away to Newton. The movement continues with Golden. And Golden spins and then he is put on his back as well. Sheridan to Matthew. Matthew holds on, takes them on up the middle. That's the last tackle for the Leeds Rhinos. Farrell, on it goes to Sheridan, but off his shoulder. And the referee says it's a knock on, but that looked as though it went backwards. And I think Graham Murray would agree with that view.
Well, that's confused me. Well, he said it was forward in relation to the ground. That went over the shoulder. Saints will not be arguing. They're desperate for possession.
Well, missed tackles 12 by St Helens, a couple of handling errors. 5 missed tackles by Leeds, and that was almost another.
Oh, that's got to be a flop. Well, Jamie Matthew was a few seconds behind, touch judges on.
They're at it again.
Listen, do what he does.
And Jamie Matthew is the man who's being penalised now.
Well, he's allowed to tackle him, but he swung the arm. Well, they've already had one man sent off for throwing a punch.
What I've got is, ball's gone. I've got the Saints man, he's doing really like a lot of players. At least I've got it, please. Listen, please. Okay? I'm just telling you personally, if you disagree. He's just got his hand on him.
Well, there's the ball coming out wide. But it all...
It was a
punch
by Jamie Matthew.
Yeah.
This isn't another red card, is it? No, it's obviously not as big a punch as the one that Morley swung.
Yeah, Matthew has a go. Well, it must depend on whether you hit the deck now. I'm looking through my rule book. D-E-C-K, deck. Hit deck, sent off. Page, no. I've lost that page.
Oh, mistake by Sean Long early in the tackle count. It's that sort of match, isn't it? Well, this should have been a showpiece, Steve-O, and I'm afraid the tactics on show here are making it anything but a showpiece, and that's a shame.
Scrappy. Best you can say. I have to say that our leading official out there, Russell Smith, isn't helping matters either.
Powell, good ball to Golden. Tuilangi was after him, and so was Newlove. Well, of course, every time now a Leeds player hits the D-E-C-K, the Leeds supporters are screaming for a penalty and then a sin bin. Adrian Morley cannot come to the sideline, so he's watching from the back of the players' entrance here. Wonder what thoughts are going through his mind as he watches Harris. Bounces away from Iro, and Iro comes back for a second snap at him. Newton is the dummy half. Here is Sheridan. Sheridan on to Powell. Big hit by Joint. Does well though. Powell gets it to Hay. Whoops, off the shoulder of Sterling.
He lost it. Now then, Sterling lost that. He's looking to get away with it.
Went backwards. Sheridan under pressure from Tuilangi. Glanville's charging after this. Glanville's after this. Glanville traps Aitchison in goal.
Well, it turned out to be an absolutely wonderful kick through.
And a wonderful chase from Glanville.
Now they want the offside. No, he did well. But Paul Aitchison, the full-back, well, took an eternity to get there and pick the ball up. Saved it in the end.
Drop out from underneath their own sticks then for the Saints. Tommy Martin gets it only as far as Glanville, 30 metres out. Good tackling by Chris Smith. Godden's the dummy half. Farrell tries to step around Cunningham. He releases the pass and finds Newton. He in turn gives it to Sheridan. Here's Darryl Powell up the middle. Powell trying to take on Aitchison, and with Nicol, the fullback, manages to haul Darryl Powell down. Newton to Sheridan. Sheridan to Andy Hay. And Andy Hay trying to use his strength. He gets to within a metre of the line. Newton's there. It's now with Harris. Glanville wants it wide. Glanville's got it. Godden. Oh, and Chris Smith is there to just hack the ball dead.
Surely a forward pass. Head and feed, but he's to let him get away with it. Oh, he came off the boot.
Came off the boot of Godden.
Chris Smith came to the rescue yet again. I thought it had gone forward, but it came off the boot of Godden. Crowd willing the side on to get that first try for the Rhinos. They desperately need it. They know that as this game goes on, remember, Adrian Morley has been sent from the field of play. They will get a lot more tired, should I say, than Saints throughout this game.
Andy Hay to Ilangi after him, and Tommy Martin gets to his feet, plays it Newton. Here's Sheridan. This is Matthew on the charge down the middle. Takes Chris Joint back a pace or two. Martin all over the top. This is Newton. Here's Sheridan. Sheridan's gone for the gap. Just held up. Good tackling by Joint again. And to Ilangi. Here is Newton. Powell called for it and got it. Looks wide, finds Harris. It just didn't quite come up for Harris. Would have been brilliant basketball skills there. Bounced twice and off the deck.
Set move, two dummy runners going across the face. He goes round the back. You can see that Kevin Iro had already committed himself, but it just bobbed in front.
Still over 3 minutes in the sin bin for Vila Matautia. Half an hour of the match gone. Leeds 6, St Helens 4. Well, it'll be interesting to hear what Stuart Raper makes of all this at half-time. It'll be interesting to hear what the Leeds spectators make of this at half-time as we make our way to our studio, Steve-O. I think they'll have a view for you.
They always have here. And as you can see, that even if it's just a second too late now, it's become farcical because of the fact that Russell Smith gave so many penalties early in the match. He was hoping, perhaps, like all officials do, that the teams will get on with the game, but I'm afraid they are still sticking to this slow-down tactic.
This is Long, though. That's a lovely run from Sean Long. Eventually, Cummings and Godden got to him.
Amazing skills from the little halfback, Sean Long.
Here's Sculthorpe. Sculthorpe thought about the pass round the corner for Iro, but held on instead. Now to Ilangi. Ilangi driving it through the chest of Matthew, getting Saints to within 20 metres of the Leeds line. Leeds all over the top of him. Chris Joint appealing to the referee for a penalty. Martin will hoist the bomb. This is a tester, a real tester here. Aitchison almost has got it. Aitchison did get it. No, Nicol gets the try. That's a try for Saints. Nicol scored. Russell Smith points to the spot. Now then, did they kick early in the tackle count? They must have done, because Russell Smith didn't say that was the fifth and the turnover, and from the resultant play the ball, Nicol caught Leeds napping. Maybe they thought it was on the fifth and last as well. Nicol gets the try though. Saints hit the front.
Quick thinking. Tommy Martin elects to go early in the tackle count. It was not the last. Referee did not raise the arm. And one of the tallest men in Super League, Paul Aitchison, got there before Francis Cummings. And look at that. The sheer strength from Nicol. No doubt about the 4 points. This is a lead. Went for the ball. They know that Francis Cummings is suspect under the high bomb. God couldn't do anything about it. Sheer strength from Nicol. That stunned the big crowd here.
Sonny Nicol in his second spell at St Helens, and comes up with a priceless 4 points for coach Ellery Hanley and the St Helens team. And now Sean Long, with this house-stand crowd doing their best to put him off. They're breathing down his neck as he takes aim at this conversion attempt. Long, though, has kicked the 2 points. Leeds 6, St Helens 10 at Headingley. The 13 men against the 12. Welcome back, Ellery Hanley. They're still talking about him on the terraces, but there's so much else to talk about now out there on the field.
Pretty calm, isn't he? The reinstated Saints coach, Ellery Hanley, but more important, deep inside, I'm sure he's pleased with the fact that Saints, yet again, with so many limited opportunities, but they've come up with 2 tries.
And they now lead the match, and Joint collects the kickoff, and they will be filled with confidence as a result of this. They've been on the back foot, they've been camped underneath their own post for so long, but they've scored the only 2 tries of the match so far, and they lead by 10 points to 6. And when you think that the Saints have lost on each of their last 4 League and Cup visits to Headingley, including that penalty-strewn cup tie in February, this is a wonderful achievement for them so far, and that's a 40-20 from Tommy Martin. This will be head and feet at the scrum to St Helens.
Beautiful kick. He'll go to the screen.
He's just checking.
Look at 40-20, please, Steve, or miles away.
Not sure, he was a long way away, but he's well inside the 40.
Yeah.
I think so.
And it goes the right side of the 20. Head and feed. Well, it took a while for this game to sort of get into the swing of things, but full credit to the Saints. They've missed so many tackles early in this match, and yet they are leading the match 10-6.
Great kick from Martin. Great kick from the standoff. And there he is with a long ball to Iro. Floated it back and popped up for Newlove. Newlove gets it away to Smith, but forward.
Nice effort. It deserved a try. Just and only just. Newlove not too impressed by the official, but oh, it's wonderful to see centre play like that. That fully deserved a try.
Big gamble. That was on the first tackle.
But again, these St Helens centres, Iro and Newlove, Leeds are having to take the gamble. Remember, they're down to 12. That's why that they coming out of that one line of defence, trying to force the attack back down in the middle.
Here's Harris taking events into his own hands. Wrestled to the ground. Well, and was Joint's tackle a bit high? Harris seems to think so. He is golden to the halfway line. It's a real physical battle, this. Battle lines really drawn from the second minute when Morley was red carded. Offside now, no interference at the play of the ball. Oh no!
Didn't play
the referee
correctly.
says that the Leeds man did not play the ball correctly.
Farrell just rolled it past him. And he did, lost it. And that's why the penalty. Well, he finally got to it in the end, but you're supposed to regain your feet, then place the ball.
Well, they took a tap and they gave it to Matautia, on then to Iro. This now is Chris Smith, and he cuts inside and goes around 2. Flicks the pass, but it's a great tackle by Godden on long. Cunningham is at dummy half. Here is Matautia back out of the sin bin. Could have been a penalty to Saints then. Knock on, lost control. Matautia claiming, as does Cunningham, I think, looks bemused, but Matautia claiming there was interference at the play of the ball there, but he dropped it.
Certainly did. It was only a short one. It was well spotted by Russell Smith. Well, it really has been a frustrating day, not just for that man, Graham Murray, the coach, but also the fans. Stop-start affair in this opening 37 minutes. Surely they were offside.
All the Leeds supporters agree with you.
Well, he barely got it in his hands and there were 3 around him.
Glanville through 3, but couldn't get away from Matautia.
Well, I'm sure that the Leeds coach, Graham Murray, will have plenty to say at half-time, but one of the most important factors is he will tell his players not to get sucked into a tough game. Leeds have to start playing an expansive game. All right, we know they're down to 12, but they've got to keep this ball alive.
And that's what they've done there. This is Powell, and he bounces off one. Great strength. This is Matthew. Matthew taking them on up the middle. They've all gone to sleep. Aitchison hasn't, and Aitchison gets in. Great run from the sub. Last tackle here for Leeds. It's with Harris. Harris inside again to Powell, and Powell is grounded underneath the St Helens sticks. They went for the power play. It didn't quite come off.
Beautiful tackle by Chris Joint. And Darryl Powell was screaming at the referee saying that Joint had stolen that ball when another St Helens player was attached to the standoff. Darryl Powell didn't get away with it, but what a tackle by the Saints skipper.
Chris Smith was looking for a penalty. It wasn't forthcoming. Here is Sullivan, and standing square or not standing square was Andy Hay, and Sullivan did well then, because from the play of the ball he ran straight into Andy Hay.
Well, it's becoming farcical, isn't it? could see that Newton had already set off before he played at the football. He was the only one marking. He'd taken a step to the right.
Entering the last minute of this first half, St Helens, having weathered the storm, are ahead by 10 points to 6. Leeds, remember, with the man Adrian Morley sent off, and this is Sean Long, who has shown one or two flashes of dazzling skill in this match. Gets away from Godden, plays the ball to Iro. This is Joint, and Joint is tackled by Glanville and Terry Newton. Cunningham a dummy half. To Long again, and he changes the direction of the attack once more, bounces off Farrell, gets away from Hay. That's the last one.
They're going far too high on the little halfback. Sean Long coming into his own now late in this first half.
And Martin with a good crossfield kick, looking to pinch one out of the arms of Cummins again. It's missed them all. But the Leeds man was taken out in the air by Iro.
Went straight for the man. Good move though. He's a bit upset about it, Ellery Hanley, but they really are peppering the left wing of Francis Cummins.
It came up with a try for them earlier, and they obviously think that might be route one.
Well, we said as soon as it was a great toss to win.
Well, it was a great toss to win, and it's a first half that St Helens have won by 10 points to 6 under the cosh for a long time. And Aitchison claimed a high kick. Nicholl scored the try, and St Helens had the lead at 10 points to 6. Adrian Morley, though, is just there behind the policeman, and he is the main story of this match so far.